For this Terraria playthrough, I had some goals I needed to complete. First of all, I needed to get all the relics from every boss and event there is possible, as well as beating the game on Master Mode, and getting the best summoner endgame loadout possible with all the accessories needed. It all started by loading in and mining some trees, getting some wood for myself, preparing for the house, as well as discovering what's on my world, like going to the right into this cave, and then finding myself in a sticky situation and dying because dart traps do 1,000 damage. I also tried exploring to the left, but was interrupted by some overpowered vultures, and I ended up dying. I also wanted to start making my house for the night because I knew it was going to be really tough in Master Mode, as well as trying to go in this ice cave and trying to find some really good loot, but I ended up finding a flare gun, which I was not happy about. I continued mining, trying to get some better loot, especially gold, as well as trying to find the Finch Staff, my first summon weapon. The first chest did not have it, but the second one did, and I was super excited for that. I ended up mining some more, as well as finding another life crystal for myself. I was ready to find more, but I had to be a little patient, as well as trying to make a elevator, but it didn't really go to plan, and I procrastinated it. I also made a furnace for my base, letting me make weapons, armor, or whatever else I needed from them. As well as I tried going to the jungle, but I was not ready and died really quickly. I honestly thought my house could use a makeover, so I decided to do a building montage, so let's get into it. After doing the building montage, the Eye of CTHULU randomly spawned on me during the next night, and I was not prepared for it in the slightest. After being interrupted by the Eye of CTHULU, I kept looting and I kept mining for some more upgrades to myself. I also got a ton of life crystals, helping me not die to these hard Master Mode enemies. I also wanted to farm flinxes to get the fur coat and the flinx staff to get huge upgrades for my summoner build. I eventually made the flinx coat and the flinx staff, which made me feel a lot stronger and safer against enemies. After getting the flinx coat and the flinx staff, I was able to farm a bunch of enemies in the jungle trying to get the snapthorn, a super powerful weapon, and making my arena a lot better. I then went back to my house and started fixing it up a bit, and I also wanted to go fishing for some summoning potions, which would help a lot in boss fights. I waited till night and summoned the Eye of CTHULU, which was not even a hard boss. I got to the second phase, which was not even hard at all, and honestly, it felt really good. And we actually ended up getting our first relic out of 27. As well as acquiring the Shield of CTHULU, which would help us a lot against enemies and make us dash and our movement better. I then went around trying to destroy some shadow orbs to get the goblin army to spawn, but they ended up spawning way later, which I was really bummed out about. I decided to make things right and kill Eye of CTHULU's friend King Slime to help complete my relic collection. Honestly, he was very easy as well, and I had super high health, mainly the entire time. Also acquiring our second relic out of 27. I was on a streak with all these bosses, so I kept it going by preparing myself for the Eater of Worlds by fishing for some more potions and buffs to help me against this insane Master Mode boss. This time, the fight didn't go as planned and took a lot longer to beat because I was very scared of the Vile Spit attack it was doing and was defending myself the entire time from it while my minions beat the boss for me. But eventually, my hard work pays off and we end up getting the Worm Scarf, reducing our damage taken from enemies by a whopping 17%, which will be very helpful in Master Mode. Also getting our third relic out of 27. I also made some shadow armor to fix my defense a little bit, and I went to the desert to get a ton of sand because I really needed to fix up my houses. And you know what this is leading into, so building a montage, I guess. After finishing up the houses, I went and got obsidian armor, but sadly the footage got lost, so you're gonna have to trust me that I went and got it. Also very sad, the footage for me making this little plant farm I got going on got erased too, and I also got the Staff of Regrowth when I went to the jungle looking for the other stuff, so that's pretty cool, I guess. As well as the damn elevator. A bunch of footage got lost, sorry about that, but it's okay, I didn't do too much. I only got armor, plant farm, elevator, so it's all good. I decided it was time for me to get some hellstone, and when I got back up, I went to make the bars, and it didn't really turn out too well because I completely forgot to make the pickaxe, which I need later in hard mode, but I eventually fixed that. But I made the imp staff, a big upgrade to our flink staff, best pre-hard mode summoning weapon, as well as acquiring a lava-proof bug net to upgrade my net a little bit and get a little bit more lava bait and more bait in general. I went to the Sky Islands to see if I could get any cool accessories like the red balloon, horseshoe, or maybe even the pre-hard mode wings, but I ended up only getting the red balloon. A little bit of a bummer. With night coming up, I decided to make a Skeletron arena to challenge Skeletron and maybe get some access to the dungeon. But this fight didn't go exactly how I wanted it to, and we ended up dying again due to stupid blood moon mobs. Who would have thought of that?
Fuck! These stupid ass zombies are in my way, dude. Fuck!
I finally get invaded by the goblin army. Finally! I've been waiting so long for these guys, and now I can get the goblin tinkerer, rocket boots, and upgrade a bunch of accessories together that have been bothering me for a while. I thought after fighting that goblin army and getting everything that a bunch of NPC houses and stuff were required, so here's where a building montage happens. After finishing up building my house, I decided to go and fight Skeletron. I got all the potions and stuff necessary to fight him, and this time it was a breeze, not hard at all. Also receiving our 4th relic out of 27. Let's go! Easy! Too easy! After beating Skeletron, I went in the dungeon and got some bones and cobwebs and made the Spinal Tap, the best pre-hard mode summoning whip you can make. I went to get more hellstone and obsidian finally to make the molten pickaxe and the molten hand axe because I completely forgot earlier when I had all the hellstone bars. But yeah, we're good now. I made a little house on top of the relic area and reforged my accessories to a damage multiplier, as well as going into the jungle trying to find the Pharaoh Claws to allow auto melee weapon swinging for my whips so I don't have to keep clicking every time I want to attack. After getting all the accessories and stuff I needed, I decided to go and make an arena for Queen Bee and started to fight her. She was honestly super easy and I had no problems at all with her. I honestly was expecting it to be a lot harder, but thanks to the Beezor reducing 0 poison damage, I was able to take her out very easily. As well as receiving our 5th relic out of 27. I then fought her again to finally get the bee armor for the best summoning pre-hard mode armor you can get, so I can have a bunch of imps now for the Wall of Flesh fight coming up. I added some more decoration and planter boxes to the plant farm to keep up to my potion making and making sure it's all good. I was procrastinating it for a while, but I decided to blow up a little chunk to make a huge sorting chest room and some NPC houses and stuff. But yeah, I guess there's a building montage. After making a whole new area for my NPCs to live, as well as a bunch of stuff for my chest, I sorted everything and made everything a lot nicer, as well as going to make a hard mode farm. So once we get into hard mode, we will be able to get Souls of Light, Souls of Night, and all that good stuff really easily without having to, die every 5 seconds. Also, I'll leave it in the description to Waffle Time, an amazing YouTuber who made this whole hard mode farm. It has more details in the video below. Go check it out. I then started to make the Wall of Flesh platform to fight the Wall of Flesh, the last pre-hard mode boss I need to kill. And I got ready with all the potions, and then the fight began. Call me crazy, but this boss wasn't hard at all. I don't know if I was too prepared with all these potions I have, but it was honestly super easy the entire time. My imps were shooting at him the whole time while I was just destroying the hungries, and then yeah, it was overall very easy, entering me into hard mode. As well as acquiring our 6th relic out of 27, and getting the goat skull, which is like the unicorn mount later in hard mode, but moves really quick against the super fast type of bosses. I also thought that since the Wall of Flesh was so easy, I decided to fight him again and demolished him again, gaining us the Firecracker Whip, a big upgrade already to our pre-hard mode summoner whip. Same loadout twice, what's the chances? I also finally finished my plant farm, getting me a nice steady supply of potions, as well as going to the spider area and getting a bunch of spider fangs to get my spider armor and spider staff, the next big upgrade for me in hard mode. But before I finished my spider armor or made the spider staff, I went and mined a bunch of ores to get better pickaxes and better stuff, as well as a nice titanium forge and an orichalcum anvil. I then went to test my new hard mode farm, and it was working like a beauty. I was getting so many Souls of Light and later on Souls of Night, and a bunch of drops from all different types of enemies. After upgrading some tools and other stuff, I went to kill enough spiders to get enough spider fangs to make the spider armor, and then eventually making as well the spider staff. I just didn't have enough fangs in the first place, so I had to go back and do another run. I then made my way to the Sky Islands, trying to kill some harpies for the giant harpy feather, but got sidetracked when it started blizzarding, because I then instead wanted the frozen wings, because they were a lot cooler. The first ice golem, sadly, I had no luck with getting the ice feather, and the second one, I didn't have any luck either. But the weird thing was, I found a random hallowed key just on the ground. I was super surprised about this. I then also totally forgot about Deerclops, another boss in pre-hard mode I needed to beat, but it's glad he's summoned now. I just don't know how he summoned. I guess when there's certain conditions he'll spawn, but I don't really know. Honestly, the first time he did kill me though, because I was not prepared at all, but thankfully he stayed there, and then I was able to just kill him, and it wasn't a big deal at all. Getting our 7th relic out of 27. Also found a rainbow slime, which was super cool, and I found our last ice golem, and he happened to give us the ice feather we were looking for. Let's go. After making some nice frozen wings, I decided to go to my hard mode farm to change it all to corruption to try and get some Souls of Night. But since the Hallow was spreading so much outside of the farm, only Souls of Light were spawning, so I had to fix it. I fixed it and was able to start getting some Souls of Night. I wanted to go and find Shimmer, so I went and looked for that, and it took me so long. Like, I do not want to talk about how long it took me. I then permanently upgraded my life regeneration, my mana regeneration, and I chucked an angel statue in and got a super cool Aether monolith, which I guess gives me an Aether background wherever I put this, which is super cool. Also from the ice golem I killed earlier, I got a frost core and was able to make the cool whip. Now I have 2 really good whips. I then decided this little statue would stay in the middle of my town, making everything super cool and Aether Biome type thing. I summoned the Blood Moon, and I started to fight the Dread Nautilus, but quickly realized that he is way too powerful for me, and I need something new, a different summoning weapon. I decided my best bet was the Pirate Staff, just because I had a lot of pirate maps, and it was overall a really solid summoner weapon for where I'm at right now. These pirate invasions took so long. The first one felt like 1,000 years, and the second one, I felt like I was about to give up. But then, near the end of the second, I ended up getting the Pirate Staff, and I was so excited about this. And we also got our 8th relic out of 27 from the Flying Dutchman. I cleaned up the arena mess I did for the pirate army and made a little fishing area for myself to make quests and all that easier for me. I then decided with all the gold I got, I wanted to make a cool new room and stuff for NPCs and other things. So building montage, here we go. This new gold room looks pretty clean if you ask me. I've realized that since I've been building so much, I've ran out of wood, so I decided to make a huge long area of grass, like near the Sky Islands, to get a lot of trees and wood for my future projects. I also found a gold bunny, giving it a nice new home. I decided to go make a graveyard biome house for the Dryad because I wanted crimson seeds for my hard mode farm to get some ichor and other good stuff it has to offer. While I was waiting for the crimson to grow on my farm, I hooked up dart traps to get more mimics to spawn and come after me so I can get a lot more money and a lot more accessories from them. While I was waiting for my farm to be done, I took my chances at trying to defeat Queen Slime to get maybe the blade staff, an even bigger upgrade than our pirate staff, but I was wrong on this first attempt. God damn it! I started to fix up the arena thinking that if it was longer and maybe a little more life regeneration, I'd be doing a better shot. This time the fight went a ton better. Even though we did have some close calls, I persevered through and we ended up killing Queen Slime, giving us our 9th relic out of 27. We also got the blade staff. It is a huge upgrade to what I have now. Super helpful. I then got some potions and thought I was ready for this twins fight with my new blade staff acquired, but I was a little dumb and ended up dying just because of bad movement, but I can easily beat this guy. I wanted to try and make a little truffle farm for myself to maybe fight against Duke Fishron right now or before the mechs, but I got interrupted by a blood moon and I tried fishing up the Dread Nautilus but couldn't even find him and I ended up dying, which I was really upset about. Oh my god! Come on! After raging at that annoying blood moon, I decided I would try and fight Duke Fishron, but I was extremely wrong and the fight was super hard and I did not have fun with that. God! After that terrible fight with Duke Fishron, I decided to reforge my accessories and weapons to the best modifier they could, and I wanted to go against Skeletron Prime, the other mechanical boss. I was honestly expecting this fight to be a lot harder, but with the new addition of our blade staff, it was super easy, and we took Skeletron Prime out really quickly. And we also ended up getting our 10th relic out of 27. I tried fighting the Destroyer, but it didn't really go the same way like Skeletron Prime did, and I ended up dying. I then waited at my almost functioning Crimson Farm until nighttime to eventually fight the twins again. Also, when I killed Skeletron Prime, I made the Durendal, a super good hard mode whip that is very strong. This time the fight went super smoothly. I fixed my movement up and was making sure not to do any dumb mistakes. As well as for the second phase of Retinazer though, I did cheese him a little bit with glitching myself in a block so he couldn't shoot me, which made it a lot easier. But ultimately, we ended up defeating the twins. We eventually get our 11th relic out of 27. I also ended up making the Optic Staff, a big upgrade for my Blade Staff, and it would prove to be super helpful against the Destroyer. I fished up for a lot more potions to help me against this big fight against the Destroyer. He was going to be tough, and I knew I had to be prepared. The fight started off good, but it didn't really go according to plan, cause this guy was way too strong for me, and I knew I needed some armor upgrades. I go back to my hard mode farm, trying to fix it up, ready for these crimson mobs, wondering why they're not spawning, so I place dirt as the platforms and place crimson seeds on them, which fixes the problem eventually. I end up wanting to fight the twins again, cause I want to finish the Hallowed set of armor, so I can have a huge boost against the Destroyer. This fight goes super smooth and is not hard at all. I end up making the full Hallowed set of armor for the Summoner, and my defense goes up by a lot and I get a bunch of increases to damage. This time I'm ready for the Destroyer. But as I'm about to fight the Destroyer, a Blood Moon happens, which is probably the best thing I could ask for right now, and I end up going to the ocean as fast as I can. I end up fighting the Dread Nautilus, which it got a little close at times, but I finally figured out his attack pattern and eventually got myself the Sanguine Staff, a huge summoning upgrade weapon for me, which I was super hyped about.
Yes! Yes!
As daytime was approaching, I was expecting this at the least. A solar eclipse starts to happen, which I was super hyped about. I really wanted the bat wings and the merfolk shell and the moonstone. Those would be super cool, and I end up getting all three. It was super nice. Before this fight, I did go to my hard mode farm and make the star veil with the cross necklace and the star cloak to give me more immunity and protection and make stars fall when I take damage. I also got the Titan glove and combined it with the feral claws to make the power glove, and eventually I'm going to make the berserker glove, a lot of gloves, with the Crimson Mimic, which will end up being a long process of getting. Anyways, enough rambling on, but I started this fight of the Destroyer, and with my new acquired Sanguine Staff from the Dread Nautilus, this thing was shredding. Honestly, this guy was not hard at all, and I was lighting him up. My little bats were doing all the work while I was just whipping him and getting rid of the probes, and honestly, this fight didn't take long. I didn't even use any potions, so yeah, overall it was very easy. And we end up acquiring our 12th relic out of 27. And finally, with finishing all 3 mechanical bosses, Plantera was now open, and the first things I did was upgrade my mechanical cart and make the Drax, the next pickaxe I need for this Terraria playthrough. After fighting a bunch of bosses, I wanted to go and sit at my hard mode Crimson farm to try and get some Crimson Mimics to spawn to eventually get the Flesh Knuckles, something I'll need for my gloves. And these Flesh Knuckles aren't very hard to get. They're like a 1 in 5, 1 in 6 chance. And I sat here for 6 hours. That is an unreal amount of time. Killing so many Crimson Mimics, occasionally dying, it was very frustrating. Also, before I even got the Flesh Knuckles, I got 3 Crimson Keys. They're a 1 in 2,500 drop chance, and I got 3 of them. And I can't get a 1 in 5 drop chance in 6 hours. This game is literally awful. For example, here? No, here? Where? I don't know where it is. Can I find it? Where is this stupid thing? I don't know where it is. And nope. And I got it. Nope. And right here. I finally get it. After so many attempts and countless waiting of doing nothing, I finally got what I was looking for. This was terrible. And I went to make the Berserker gloves and got the best reforge possible for my damage build, which was absolutely crazy. Saves me a lot of money. Also, big outcome for this, I'm going to now have like 29 platinum, which will be super nice and handy going on. And since so much time has passed for me at the hard mode farm, I decided to get all the life fruits and max out my health and get ready for this Plantera fight. We end up finishing the arena for the Plantera, and then we started getting some potions, and then the fight began. Honestly, this first phase was really easy. Nothing really too difficult about it, just going in circles and just damaging it and letting the minions do all the work. But eventually, when I get into the second phase, it gets a little more tough. This phase was a lot closer. I had a lot of tough moments and clutch dodges, but we ended up winning and killing Plantera. And we end up getting the axe on our first try. It is a 1 in 50 chance of it dropping, and I got it first try. I have also never gotten this thing. This was a huge thing for me. I was super hyped about it. Also getting our 13th relic out of 27.
Oh! I got the axe! I got the axe first try!
Also, after killing Plantera, I bought the Tiki armor for a huge upgrade in my summoner defense and my summoner gear. I then decided before I beat up on Golem, I wanted to go farm ectoplasm and stuff because I eventually wanted to do the Frost Moon and the Pumpkin Moon. But I end up getting the Morning Star, our next upgrade whip, which is a crazy upgrade, 260 damage, huge buff. I as well wanted the Black Belt and Tabby to make the Master Ninja gear to have a huge upgrade to my Cthulhu shield that I've had literally the entire playthrough. I finally got the Black Belt and Tabby, which I was super excited to make the Master Ninja gear, as well as I got the Bone Feather to make the Bone Wings, a next upgrade to our wings. I made the pumpkin moon spawner and decided to farm pumpkin moons for spooky wood to get the spooky armor, which would be an even bigger upgrade to our summoner armor, as well as hopefully getting some accessories that would help boost our summoner gear. Honestly, this pumpkin moon was not hard at all. I didn't even die once and I got a lot of spooky wood. Sadly, I didn't make it to wave 15, which I was really bummed about. But I did get the Raven Staff and the Dark Harvest, but I think I'm going to keep the Morning Star because it's better. But the Raven Staff will be a lot better of an upgrade than the Sanguine Staff. As well as I got the Spooky Twig for a new pair of wings again. After making our spooky wings, we got relic 14 out of 27 and 15 out of 27 for the Morning Wood and the Pumpkin. I also did make a place for the truffle to live because I did want every NPC eventually. I did end up fighting the Pumpkin Moon again because I did want a lot more money as well as enough spooky wood to make the spooky armor, a big upgrade for my tiki armor. I then was rocking some nice spooky armor and my build got a lot better. I then made a little arena for the Old One's army because I wanted to see how it was, and honestly it wasn't too bad, but there wasn't any good loot, so nothing really good out of it. I then tried fighting Duke Fishron with the nice upgrades I got, but I ended up dying, and honestly I could have beaten him with a little bit better of movement. And since we did the Pumpkin Moon, I thought it was only fair to do the Frost Moon and try and get some cool stuff. But the Frost Moon was way harder than the Pumpkin Moon, and I was not ready for it at all. And I died a good chunk of times. And we eventually get the Chain Gun and the Christmas Hook. The Christmas Hook will be super nice, but sadly I can't use the Chain Gun because I'm Summoner. And we got relic numbers 16, 17, and 18 from the Everscreen, Santa, and Ice Queen, all out of 27. I then headed over to the jungle to go in the jungle temple to fight Gollum. I traversed my way through the traps, and honestly, Gollum wasn't as easy as I thought he would be, but I just needed a little bit of preparing, that's all, and he should be simple enough. And this time, I also prepared for Gollum. I made a lot more potions, and this fight went completely the other way. He was a lot easier, and I get the pick saw on the first try, which was super nice for me, as well as acquiring our 19th relic out of 27. I then farmed Gollum a little bit more at the surface just to get some more loot and maybe some more money while I'm at it. I then tried fighting the post-Gollum Old One's army, but they were a lot stronger and I was not ready for them. As I was walking to the left, a Martian probe came in, and I thought this is a great idea to start the Martian invasion because I really needed the Xeno Staff. It is a huge upgrade to my Raven Staff, and it would be super helpful right now. Honestly, I just used my pirate farm trap, and the Martian invasion was pretty easy until a saucer came by, then it got a lot harder. I then respawned and a new Martian saucer came in and I thought I could get it this time, but I messed up and I died and I was really bummed because he got super low. I then spawned in again and got the Martian saucer halfway and then ended up dying. But one more time, a Martian saucer spawned in and I was able to kill it, but very sadly the influx waiver dropped and I was really sad about that. But luckily we got our 20th relic out of 27. But I ended up finishing the invasion, but I still wasn't complete because I really needed the Xeno Staff. So I went all the way to the ocean and tried looking for another one. I ended up finding a probe really easily and the Martians started to invade again. This time I was ready for all the saucers to come. But I still struggled because they were still hard to kill. But I eventually learned the saucer's movement and was able to get the Xeno Staff, a big upgrade from my Raven Staff. I then defeated the Martians, and I wanted to get a lot more truffle worms because I wanted to try Duke Fishron again with my upgraded gear this time. I then went and challenged Duke Fishron, and honestly, he was a lot easier. I just had to fix up my movement, and with the Xeno Staff constantly hitting him, he was a breeze. He was a lot more tedious, but he was overall very easy, especially with our upgraded Xeno Staff. And we got our 21st out of 27th relic from him. I'm crazy! I then fought and killed him 2 more times, trying to hopefully get the Fishron rings as well as some money. When night came, I went to the Hallowed and farmed Empress of Light summons because I really wanted to fight her. But I soon realized that my wing movement wasn't enough, so I went and farmed a lot more truffles and went back to fight Duke Fishron until I could get the Duke Fishron wings. I then proceeded to fight Duke Fishron 7 times because I really badly wanted the Duke Fishron wings. They were going to be a huge improvement to my flight and mobility against Empress of Light, which would be super helpful. And we end up getting the Fishron wings. I'm super excited for this, and now I have to prepare for the Empress of Light fight. I started to reforge all my gear to a damage modifier to get at least extra damage with my weapons and summon weapons. I was preparing myself because this fight right here is awful. I really wanted the Terra Prisma, a super crazy, probably the best summon weapon like in the game, but I also had a problem with going against Empress of Light because in the daytime she one-shots you, and that was a huge problem, especially for someone who has never fought in Empress of Light. It was not good. So in all honesty, I tried summoning Empress of Light during the daytime, but I accidentally summoned her during night, and I thought it was daytime the whole time, and I thought I was doing super well, but I ended up actually killing her on the first try. But in all honesty, I was super happy about this because I actually got the best whip in the game, the Kaleidoscope. So now I was able to try and get the Terra Prisma from the daytime Empress of Light, which was not going to be easy. And we got the Soaring Insignia since we're in Master Mode, which means we have unlimited flight and increased mobility in the air. So no need for Frostbark boots anymore. As well as getting our 22nd relic out of 27. I reforged my new whip and made sure my accessories are all up to date with a bunch of damage modifiers, and I was getting ready for the daytime Empress of Light. So I tried fighting it in the daytime and got very close, but little did I know this was going to be a long process of trying to get this thing. It all started with fishing and then waiting till night and then hunting for some Empress of Light summons and then waiting till morning and then fighting her, and then repeating for 4 hours, I want to say. I died so many times by this boss, and we had quite a bit of rage to go with it. No! No! I was so close, dude! Oh! No! What the f- I'm gonna... God! What am I doing? What are you doing? Get the f out of my way. You stupid idiot. Honestly, after the 300 plus attempts and the 5+ hours I put into this, I was so fed up. But I decided to do one more fight and put my all into it. Here's the full fight for you guys. I did it! Oh my god. Oh my god. After so many attempts and so many long hours, I finally got the Terra Prisma. I was beyond stoked about this. This was monumental for me. After getting arguably the best summoning weapon, I decided to go test my luck against Lunatic Cultist and see how I'd fare up against him. But honestly, the Terra Prisma shredded him. It was a little rough at some points, but we were honestly able to kill him, and it was overall pretty easy. I also got our 23rd relic out of 27. And after Lunatic Cultist, it was time for the pillars. And honestly, the pillars were overall really easy. It helps having Terra Prisma a lot for them. It makes it go by really quick. I only did one pillar though, because I did want to try the final endgame Old One's army to finally get 3 relics I've been looking for. Honestly, the first couple of waves were pretty easy, as well as the later waves, but when Betsy came out near the end, it got a little hard, but honestly, the Terra Prisma carried this entire fight, which it was super helpful, and we end up getting 3 relics from the Dark Mage, the Ogre, and Betsy, which is 24, 25, 26, all out of 27. When I destroyed that one Stardust pillar, I ended up making the Stardust Dragon Staff and the Stardust Cell Staff. Stardust Dragon Staff would prove to be super helpful. Cell Staff, I don't really use too much, but it's also still really good. I decided to defeat the rest of the pillars and collect all the fragments from them, so just in case if I die from Moonlord, I can make more, as well as making some better potions for myself. I then got all the potions necessary for the Moonlord fight and waited for him myself. I didn't need an arena because I already had infinite flight. Honestly, I kind of struggled with Moonlord. He has some crazy high damaging attacks that I was not prepared for, and it eventually ends up killing me. And this time he ends up killing me as well. Annoyingly enough, I had to do all the pillars again because I ran out of fragments to make more Moonlord summons, so I had to do it all over. I ended up dying again. And this time, I decided to go to my arena on the very far right and use the Dragon Staff this time, because I'm pretty sure the Dragon Staff's going to be a little bit better for this type of fight. Here's the full fight for you guys. We did it! Let's go! After this long summoner journey, we finally beat the Moonlord, acquiring our last relic out of 27. This run wasn't complete though until we get the best endgame armor. So I got the Moonlord wings and put them on instead of my Fishron wings, and they go way faster. I spawned in the Moonlord again and defeated him after an extremely close fight, but we did end up getting the Stardust armor, our final tier of armor we need. I summoned Moonlord once more and defeated him with my final tier endgame loadout and destroyed him. Here's my final endgame loadout. I had the legendary Kaleidoscope, the godly Terra Prisma, the ruthless Dragon Staff, the godly Stardust Cell Staff, and a full set of Stardust armor, as well as all my accessories were reforged to menacing for the most damage possible. Hey guys, hope you all enjoyed this Terraria playthrough. I had a ton of fun making it, and I hope you all enjoyed it as well as I did. And while you're still here, subscribe and like for more.